Do you think there's going to be rather a drop in productivity in West Australia today?
I think there might be.
I think there might.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone will mind.
Well, Bruce, can you hear us? Hi.
Can you hear us, Bruce?
We can barely hear you.
Just about hear you. Mr. Hawke, can you hear us?
10 minutes to get through the crowd. The
I don't think he
champagne is all
does.
over us, as you can see. But the Prime Minister's here now. To all the people throughout Australia on the Nine Network, Mr. Prime Minister, how does it feel?
Look, it's just indescribable. I'm drowned in champagne. Look, I just want to say to Bondi, to Jones, to Bertrand, the crew, and of course not forgetting that marvellous Australian Ben Lexon.
Right.
Look, there's not many occasions when an Australian Prime Minister knows that he can speak for every Australian, but on this occasion,
You sure can.
you speak, Bondi and all of you there, we say, well done, congratulations. I don't think there's been a greater moment of pride for Australia than in what you've done. Not only winning, but the way you won. I mean, making up what was 78 seconds on that fifth leg. Remember I sent that message, I said if it gets tight, just look to it, we'll blow. I reckon all of Australia was blowing.
Did you have a chance to see it all?
I watched every minute of it. Every minute of it.
Absolutely sensational. You can also speak as a West
As
Australian.
a Western Australian, and I also can speak. We went there in June, you remember?
That's right.
It's not after the event. We went there in June, and I said to Bondi, I said, we can make it, and they did. It's one of the great moments in Australian
Bob,
history.
did you ever have doubts during the race?
Yes, we all had doubts
Yeah.
as they went round that
The fourth
fifth
mark,
leg.
yeah.
Went into the fifth leg. You had, if you were honest with yourself, to say, look as though we've gone. But wasn't that a fantastic achievement?
That rundown win
That
was
78
incredible.
seconds turnaround then, and that brilliant piece of sailing
By
just to
Bertrand.
go around there by Bertrand. Oh. Look, you know,
You're about as excited as we are.
Well, look, it's just one of the greatest moments in Australian sporting history. We're all so privileged to be part of it. And I'm so proud, of course, as a Western Australian, to be back here, you know, in the midst of
At the moment, at the moment. Steve, I don't know whether you can get through to us, but any of you there have any questions you'd like to ask?
We
the
sure
Prime
do.
Minister?
Can you hear us okay, though? There's so much noise going on there, Mr. Hawke. It's a wonder you can hear us at all.
Is this from Newport?
Yeah, no, that's from Sydney.
No, Sue Calloway from Sydney, Mr. Hawke. We're keen to know whether you want to know whether the cup should be called the Australia's Cup or the America's Cup now.
Australia's Cup now, though, that's for too long a down. I tell you what, I reckon we'll make it as hard for them as they did for us.
Are you going to declare it a national holiday, Mr. Hawke? We're getting phone calls asking whether...
National holiday, we're all going to be a nation of zombies at any rate today.
You're dead right. Productivity, zilch. You got the trifecta. Do you think that your support is really behind it all?
Oh, no. Look, all I'm glad to say is that it's not after the event. We went and saw them in June in Newport, and I was one of the few people to see Bondi's bottom. And we knew then that we had a good chance, but you have to give a lot of credit to the Americans. They're tough, they're hard, but the way that Connor fought back there...
He certainly did.
It was so much better in a way than winning by 5 minutes, wasn't it?
We have this coat for you.
Perhaps you become a yachtsman now. Oh, isn't that awful?
Prime Minister, can I ask you, Mr. Hawke, whether you'll plan a special welcome for the boys when they get home? Will you plan a special welcome for the boys when they get home?
I want to say to them that we have a number of things in mind. There are no group of Australians who deserve to be honoured more than this group. I mean, it's not just what they've done for sport. It shows that our technology, when applied, is equal to or better than any in the world. And it's not just people who are interested in sport, but all Australians should see just what Australians are capable of.
But Bob, the other thing is too that it was every Australian who was involved in America's Cup since 1962 that got this moment.
Oh, too right. I mean, you've got to go back to Frank Packer.
Yep.
And all those people, Jock Sturrock, Hardy, the designers. It didn't just happen in 1983. There's a generation. Right, you're quite right. There's a generation of Australian commitment in this, and isn't it great for Perth too, eh?
You're not wrong.
Good boys don't lose, they say.
Aye?
Perth boys don't lose.
I can't hear. We can't hear a thing, Sue.
I can understand. I'm just thinking, you know, it's an amazing thing how, in spite of everything else, it's a sporting event and an Australian victory of magnitude of this one that really brings the country together.
It does. It absolutely, it crosses all lines. Doesn't matter whether it's politics, race, religion, creed. I reckon that, I guess there must have been 10 million Australians sitting up tonight, as I say.
15.
Well, the young ones may have been asleep. But as I say, we're going to be a nation of zombies. We may as well declare it a national holiday anyway.
Well, you've just said so on national television, so I don't think you can expect anyone to go to work today.
Sorry, Sue, we didn't quite catch that.
Mr. Hawke has now announced that on national television, so we can't expect anyone to go to work today.
Well, look, I mean, this is a state matter, but I guess if there's any state premier who tries to countermand me, I think they might be in a bit of bother.
I think they might. I think you've got consensus on that, Mr. Prime Minister.
I tell you what, any boss who sacks anyone for not turning up today is a bum.
That's telling him.
Out of the next day to make up.
I must tell you that that coat on you says everything this morning. You in that coat with the Australian map of Australia, the Australian colours, that says everything.
Well, it is. It's a day for all Australians, isn't it? It's a day brings us all together. Marvellous. Absolutely marvellous.
Like to be there in Newport?
Well, as I say, I was very glad that I was there before it happened in June. And I knew then I was able to say on behalf of all Australians, well, we're all behind you. And there it's happened now.
Did you have any money on this race, Mr. Hawke? Did you have any money on this?
No, the other day I just had a little bit on the trifecta for Hawthorn in Melbourne, Parramatta in Sydney and Australia too, just a little bit.
You've done rather well then.
Eh?
You've done rather well.
Oh, well, that doesn't matter. I mean, Australia that's done well.
That's
really
for
great.
sure.
Yeah, fantastic.
Bruce, I'm not sure whether you can hear us too well or not. Prime Minister, given the hour of the morning and the significance of the occasion, thank you very much for joining us first on the Nine Network.
It's my pleasure, and I just want you to get the message across to the boys there. We're all so proud of them.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister. Thank you for joining us. That was the Prime Minister, Bob Hawke, a rather elated Prime Minister, Bob Hawke, who tells you all that you don't have to go to work today. It's a public holiday, and anyone who fires you is a bum. But we'll be back in just a moment with more America's Cup excitement.
Having to leave Ken's mum behind when we go on family outings is a thing of the past now. Thanks to our centrefold seat, our Falcon can take us all in comfort.
That first instant you see a roo jump out into the road always makes your heart stop. But it's a lot easier when you've got a lot of confidence in your car.
When it comes to wagons, nothing else is in Falcon's class. It's got more of everything we buy a wagon for.
It's times like these, I'm glad I drive a Falcon.